Last week, Madden 23 predicted a dismal Week 2 matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. It would be a sloppy game with plenty of penalty flags, turnovers, and an absolute snoozer of a final score. And unfortunately for the Purple People Eaters, the end result was determined to be a loss, dropping their season record to 1-1. In reality, what was the final outcome? Absolute disaster. The Eagles destroyed the Vikings in a decisive win. The formidable defense that had smothered the Packers just a week ago turned out to have the structural integrity of wet cardboard. Hurts put on an absolute clinic with both his feet and his arm, throwing lasers all over the field. The Vikings tried to fight back, but the act was more of a sign of desperation than any sort of life. In fact, the beating became so bad, Vikings fans found themselves living in an alternate reality as they were teleported back in time to relive the disaster that was the 2017 NFC Championships.
Third down and goal. Foles surveys, fires, touchdown Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh God, why? Shaking off the ghosts of football past, the Vikings drive deep into enemy territory. Kirk Cousins steps back and shoots a javelin into the end zone.
You blew it!
The collapse of the Vikings becomes absolute. Can they stop the run? Can they stop the pass? Can they muster any sort of offense? You know what? Let's mulligan that one. Attempt number 2. God, I hate the Eagles. I hate Philadelphia. I hate the color green. I hate everything about this place. There's absolutely nothing that I could possibly... You know what? This city isn't that bad. In A Tale of Two Cities, the Lions had a completely different Week 2 experience than the Vikings. In a home game matchup against the Washington St. Brown and Swift tore the football team apart. The former punching bag of the NFC North is suddenly looking like a formidable opponent. Their offense is on fire, their defense is surprisingly stout, their quarterback, could use an upgrade. Even the special teams gets in on the action. Detroit with a semblance of hope? What kind of fringe hell is this? The excitement of the Motor City is so palpable, even Dan Schneider hiding on his yacht can sense it. But even with all of that firepower, the Lions let the Washington back into the game, only to prolapse and throw away any semblance of hope that may be left in Washington. No finer metaphor for the nation's capital can be made. Seriously? You gave up 36 points to the Lions? The defense of the Washington is as porous as the U.S. southern border.
You're confident this border's secure?
We have a secure border.
Now the red-hot Lions need to travel to the Twin Cities to face the Vikings in enemy territory. After such a dismal display in Philadelphia, the Vikings are going to need a statement win to turn this season around. The Lions start with the ball, and the entire state of Minnesota clenches its anus in panic, but then realize that Goff is throwing the ball. A quick 3-and-out and the Vikings take possession. Okay, Kirk, I just want you to think about what you did last week and do the exact opposite. Can you do that for me? Holy shit, he made a pass. And to the correct team this time. The Vikings drive down to the goal line, and Cousins is looking red hot, hitting his targets with poise and grace. It's a very strange sight. Okay, boys, drive it home. You're fucking kidding me. After waiting over an hour for the EA servers to come back online, the game resumes, and Kirk tosses an easy TD to Muse. Strike up the band, he finally threw a touchdown. Only took you 3 games. The Lions get the ball back, but can they do anything with it?
Nope.
3 plays and 1 punt later, and the Vikings are once again in the driver's seat. Another touchdown to Muse, and I'm experiencing an out-of-body experience. Is this what it's like to have a decent quarterback? Why is Cousins suddenly playing so good? Oh, that's right, it's not a primetime game. Seriously, you are never going to get rid of that stigma.
Cousins lofts one, center field, and it's caught.
What the hell is even that?
Can we make it 3, Kirk? Of course you can. In what had once been a highly anticipated divisional matchup, the game turns into an absolute slaughter as the Vikings poach and stuff the Lions in what might be the most lopsided game of the year.
I got you!
Stop! He's already dead.
The Lions' offense turns out to be anemic, their defense half dead, and true to form after a dismal performance in a primetime game, Kirk Cousins transforms into a formidable quarterback and proceeds to spend the rest of the game padding his stats in preparation for his next contract negotiation. Late in the third, the Lions drive into the end zone. Hopes of winning the game have long since faded, but maybe they can avoid complete embarrassment. Or they can just do that. The Vikings should probably focus on running out the clock, but their tender feelings were hurt in Philadelphia, and they don't want to just beat their enemy, they're looking to salt the earth.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. I got you!
The final score is a 30-0 trouncing, and the Vikings' record improves to 2-1. At the moment, the Madden prediction score stands perfect at 2-0. Sorry, Dan. I really am rooting for you this year.
I got you!